Hi, tonight's devotional is about a time when the Israelites were put in timeout. This one is called Timeout. Have you ever been put in timeout? Maybe for not listening to your mom or dad, or being mean to your sister or brother? Well, your timeout was nothing compared to Israel's timeout. God put Israel in timeout for 40 years. What did they do to get a 40-year timeout? Well, Moses and the Israelites had lots of new rules from God about how to be his holy nation. They knew what to do and what not to do. No beard trimming, no pork eating, no lying or stealing. Lots of rules. As soon as they left camp to head for the promised land, the Israelites started complaining. Again. It's too hot. We're tired of this weird flaky food. They were complaining about everything Moses told them. Everything. Moses told them to trust God and to be patient. After all, they were headed to the land God had promised them. They would soon have their own land and be God's holy nation. Just when Moses thought he couldn't take their complaining any longer, they finally reached the promised land, a land called Canaan. There was one small problem, though. There were already people living in Canaan. So Moses sent 12 spies into the land to check it out. Do you know what a spy is? It's someone who sneaks around gathering information without being noticed. The 12 spies wandered all over Canaan, taking notes. Was there food? Fresh water? Were there trees? How many people lived there? Were they big people or little people? Then they came back to Moses and the Israelites and told them what they saw. The promised land was amazing. They saw grapes, huge, delicious grapes. They saw lots of fruit trees. They saw good land for growing crops with clean, fresh running water in brooks and streams. They saw that the land God promised them was an amazing, wonderful place to live. But they also saw the people who lived there. They looked big. They looked strong. They looked mean. What if they attacked the Israelites? Would the Israelites win or lose? Moses asked the spies what the Israelites should do. Two of the spies reminded the Israelites that this was the land God had promised. Even though the people looked big, God was bigger. If they had to fight for the land, God would fight with them, and they would win. All they had to do was trust God. But the other 10 spies were scared. The people are too big, they said. They're too strong, they said. If we have to fight them, we'll lose. Who should the Israelites listen to? The 2 spies who trusted God, or the 10 spies who were so scared they wanted to run away? Who would you listen to? The Israelites listened to the scared spies. They forgot all the things God had done to bring them out of Egypt. They forgot that he was always with them and that he was bigger than anyone or anything that they could ever face. They forgot about God. They said, "We're not going into that land. Let's go back to Egypt." Moses couldn't believe what he was hearing. The children of Israel, God's friends, were turning their backs on God. Because you don't trust me, none of you will go into the land I promised. God said, "Someday your children will go in, but you won't." God wanted the Israelites to trust him. He wanted them to remember that he loved them very much and that they didn't need to be afraid because he was always with them. The Israelites forgot all of these things, and so God put them in timeout for 40 years. All right. Fun facts. During their 40-year timeout, Moses and the Israelites wandered the desert in the Sinai Peninsula, which is situated right between the Mediterranean and the Red Seas. Today, the location of the Israelite wilderness wandering is about 23,000 square mile bridge between Africa and Asia, with a population of almost 1.5 million people. It's a big space for them to wander for 40 years. All right, ready for the questions to talk about with your parents? Why did God's people get a 40-year timeout? Pause the video and answer that question. What can we remember about God when we encounter hard things? Pause the video and answer it. All right, will you pray with me? Dear God, thank you for being bigger and stronger than our fears. We trust you to help us bravely through. Amen. All right, I'll see you tomorrow night for another bedtime story.